Good evening and salutations, my GH fans. Okay, so we gotta talk about a couple of things. And we're gonna start off with Christina for a hot minute. And it's just dawned on me, literally before I hit the record button, is that her writing has just been all over the road. All over. Just like, so she gives Michael over and she tells him that the gun is missing and that she originally planned on killing both John and Ava. And there's a there's a ton of stupidity behind each one of her actions that she was going to sit there and take. And it's just the reason of why a lot of people are not liking Christina. Like, I've been sitting there saying that she's been stupid. She's been doing some stupid stuff for a while. It's just making her character, well, stupid. But this just highlights the problem. Let's start off with her, going to kill John. She's already in trouble by John for these charges, right? Now, yeah, we could sit there and look at it like, well, they're trumped up charges, they're not real, they're not going to stick, whatever. If he was able to, in an alternate dimension, prosecute her for these charges, theoretically, she can go to jail for a very long time. So, what her plan is? Well, she plans on making her situation worse. She was planning on actually killing him. So you were planning on killing an FBI agent because he kept coming after you and he was going to put you in jail. Well, you think that once you killed him that you were just going to, everything was just going to be good in the hood. You were just going to go back to your normal life of running the center and, I don't know, maybe rekindling things with Blaze, because that was not going to happen. You aren't just going to be killing someone. You're going to be killing an FBI agent. So your legal troubles was going to go from bad to worse. Not to mention, okay, so I'm going to sit there and kill these people, but first I'm going to spend about an hour or so in the rain, practically catching pneumonia, to go to see my baby's, gravesite or whatever. And then I was just going to go off killing some people. That's just number one. Let's talk about Ava for a minute. You went over there, and you've been kicking yourself since day one that you shouldn't even went over there. So you're going to sit there and kill her for an accident that happened. How do you think the conversation between you and your sister was going to go? Right? Like, these are things that, like, just makes her look stupid. So when she sat there and said to Michael, yeah, I was going to sit there and get justice. You were going to get what? You were going to kill those two in the name of justice? Really? This is this is where the writing has taken this character. So I can understand the level of frustration with this particular character, where she's being written is just, well, it's just bad. It's just really, really, really bad. Now let's talk about Alexis for a minute. Okay, so she's freaking out. She found the gun or whatever, and she's not sure what to do. And she calls Diane, and she's like, listen, I need your help or whatever. If you don't get back to me, then I'm going to, well, pretty much do something stupid. She was planning on getting rid of the gun. Now, she's a lawyer, right? You think getting rid of the gun is going to look better or worse? Because I feel like her getting rid of this gun is going to make Christina look worse. And eventually she goes back and forth, she goes back and forth, she goes back and forth, and then she decides to do it. Okay, that's not exactly very lawyer-like, but sure. we'll go with it. And then she runs into, well, while she's doing this, Liz and Rick run into her and sees her doing that. Now, first of all, out of all the places you decide to go late at night, y'all decide to go to the bridge by yourselves. Like, Port Charles is kind of a crime ridden city, and y'all decide to go there. Like, it's just one of those things where it's like, if you didn't meet her, you probably would just, I don't know, maybe got mugged or something. But anyway, they see her do it. And Rick, the whole time while they're talking, he's just looking over the bridge like, so, what you doing? And she makes up some sort of phony story about how her phone was acting up and she got really frustrated and she threw her phone, you know, into the over the bridge or whatever. And Rick says something sarcastic like, "You didn't try factory settings, or you decide to just chunk your probably expensive phone over the bridge." Anyway, she tells her story and then she leaves. And they're both like, "Yeah, that was not a phone. What was she doing?" So they're speculating what she's doing or whatever while she throw the gun over. Um, whose daughter is involved? Most likely, Rick is sitting there thinking that it's Sonny's daughter. Because, Molly's practically perfect, so it can be Molly. She's the good daughter. Carly and Sonny get their alibi story together. And, he can't sit there and say, "Hey, listen, by the way, I did it, but I need you," because they're not married. So she doesn't like it, and she houses the story a little bit. She begrudgingly stays over the night. This way, their story could work out more better. Drew and Curtis. You know, Curtis. When Curtis finds out about Drew and the kiss with Willow, he pretty much just gives him a pass. Like, okay, I get it, they're friends and stuff like that, and he doesn't want to sit there and be a dick or anything like that. But the thing is, when you're a real friend, sometimes you gotta sit there and tell the harsh truth. You gotta sit there and be honest with your friend that nobody else will, you know. And instead, he just pretty much just gives him a pass. And I'm like, it's not really that too surprising because Curtis was kind of a scumbag back in the day too. Just did a lot of scumbag shit. So I'm not too surprised that you wouldn't sit there and pretty much give 1 second and give Drew a pass. And pretty much he just sits there and says, like, listen, feelings, it doesn't make you a bad person, but you need to sit there and just kind of chill out. Drew is pretty much just like, this just gone too far, and now I have feelings for her, you know. While Willow was going to sit there and tell Michael the truth, I mean, she started off kind of slow and rocky and everything, and it's just one of those things where it's like, bro, just get to the goddamn point. Of course, she never gets to sit there and say it because Mike gets the call from Christina. So he rushes over there and finds out the whole gun thing. But then she starts looking at the photo and she starts crying and she's all teary eyed. And I'm just like, bro, let me ask you a question. Do you actually feel bad for Willow in this situation? And if you do, I'm not going to sit there and judge you. I just would like to know why. I would like to know why you feel bad for her in this situation. Now, you already know how I feel. Fuck her in her tears. You did this to yourself. This is your mess that you decide you created. So you got to sit there and sit in it. This isn't the first time that she's actually cheated. She's actually kissed this man twice. Not to mention that she cheated on Chase. So all this, oh, I'm a good wife, and she's also having sex dreams too. So yeah, I really do not care. Major bet. It is what it is. Jason and Ava Diane walks into the room and Jason's like, you need to sit there and rep us both. And so she begrudgingly does. Ava tells the story. Anna cooperates. She talks to that woman or whatever, and she's like, you know what, listen, it is what it is. Your story holds up. You're free to go. Ava also talks about how, she tells Ava that John is dead. And she pretty much is like, hallelujah at this point. Also, Christina knows that John is dead as well. Rewrite. Telling you, this is a rewrite. The scenes with Robert and Mac was kind of just there to be there. They're just talking about Sonny being suspect number one, which is a real surprise to no one. And that, maybe Robert thinks that Cody's lying because, they questioned Cody and Cody was like, I didn't hear anything, but the gunshot was closer to Cody where Cody could hear it. Anyway, it pretty much kind of goes nowhere and they talk about Holly randomly. And that's because at the end, Holly shows up when Lucky is playing this guy. Which, by the way, this is another scene where it's just like, okay, so the whole point of this poker game is that way as long as Lucky wins, he stays alive. That's it. That's the whole point of this game. And the minute that he loses, he dies. Now, the guy that sit there and mention about this woman that he met in Monte Carlo, whatever, that he's just infatuated with, and it makes Lucky sit there and think about Liz. Which I'm just like, bro, don't sit there and start telling me that you still have feelings for her. Because, like, if that was the case, your ass would have been in Port Charles. So don't, you know what I'm saying? Like, part of, this whole, him thinking about Liz, it's like, oh, you really thinking about her. But you know where she's at. And your ass chose to leave. So how much feelings do you really have for her? Anyway, they play cards until Holly shows up and, she wants to sit there and play. And I'm pretty sure she's going to help him out in some sort of way so this way he can get back to Port Charles. Which, by the way, Jordan goes on a not date with Brick. And we find out a little bit about his backstory that he was working in security before, but he was working for, I guess, the military or whatever, and he didn't really like it. So that's why he decided to freelance and work for different people. But apparently he has some sort of moral code, which, is good because then we don't have to look at him as a total scumbag. But Jordan asked him there to try to identify this, the Isaiah character. Because she's like, the fact that he was just out doing a role, like he was probably being chased by somebody. So he asked for a favor, and, Rick is like, all right, cool. Like, the favor is, we actually go on a real date. So apparently they're going to go out on a real date, maybe? I don't know. It's weird because it's like, I don't think that they can really use, because people have been sitting there saying that, they want her with Brick. But the actor, he has so many different things that's going on that he can't really be there full time. He just shows up as a guest appearance. So them going on a date doesn't really mean anything. I just want y'all to know that because he does so many different things that even if they do go on a date, it's like, man, like nothing's going to materialize from them. So I don't know. Maybe it's just a tease for the audience, I guess. Anyway, I feel like that's pretty much about it. I can't think of anything else that wound up happening. But if I forget anything, you know what to do. Either write it down in the comment section, or better yet, come to the live stream tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. We'll talk about what shows, General Hospital, Days of Our Lives, Born Beautiful, and Young and Restless. With that being said, I'm going to go. I'll see you in the next video.